Good morning. It's Ms. Shapiro. Today, instead of reading you a book or a chapter from a book, I am going to read you a really powerful editorial that a student from Wheat Ridge High School wrote about her experiences at Outdoor Lab. Now, whether you're a sixth grader or you're in high school or whatever grade you're in, I think that you'll connect with some of the things that she has to share about Outdoor Lab and how it can be such a transformative experience. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. We are going to, okay. So this is written by Sophie Martin, editor-in-chief of The Haystack, which is the student newspaper at Wheat Ridge High School. So Outdoor Lab, the future of education, the happiest place on earth above 8,000 feet. And as I'm reading this, I want you guys to think about, well, what experiences have you had, whether it's Outdoor Lab or something else, that have really changed you in some kind of way? What is an experience you've had that has been kind of transformative? Or you could also think about your connection with nature. What is it, or what is an experience you've had in getting outside and seeing something in nature that has really just been awe-inspiring? So let's go ahead and take a look. So here we have the site at Windy Peak. My first time at Outdoor Lab, I stayed in the cabin of Columbine, my second in Kinnikinnick, my third in Juniper, my fourth in Limber Pine East, Juniper again for my fifth, and back in Columbine for my final trip. If you've never been on an Outdoor Lab experience, you're probably wondering why I remember such minute details, right? It's been 5 years since my first trip to Windy Peak Outdoor Lab, and every trip since that first week has been unforgettable. I remember the layout of every cabin, the people I stayed with, and most importantly, the memories I made and the community I earned. But the experience extends far beyond the bunkhouses. Hitting a bullseye, fishing at the pond when the weather allows, hiking through the great outdoors of Colorado, dancing at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, stargazing and learning about our solar system, and creating a community between students, teachers, high school leaders, and staff is what makes the campus the amazing destination called Windy Peak. Windy Peak Outdoor Lab is a Jefferson County school campus that houses a new group of sixth grade students every week. The program is set up so that every middle school in Jefferson County has a designated week to send their sixth grade students to Windy Peak or its sister site, Mount Blue Sky. Mount Blue Sky is where we tend to go at JRLP. We're going December this year. It'll be awesome. Sixth graders, take note. The groups of sixth grade students and teachers are accompanied by about 20 high school students who volunteer their time as leaders to enrich the experience for the kids by teaching classes, sitting with them at meals, being positive role models, and sparking an interest in the activities as well as the overall experience. During the week, sixth grade students spend 3 nights and 4 days experiencing the unique and amazing culture and environment of these campuses. I have attended the Windy Peak campus 7 times, 3 times as a middle school student and 4 times as a high school leader. Every time has been an unforgettable experience. High school students, take note, you could come with us if you're in 11th and 12th grade. And maybe also some 10th graders too. Snaps to 10th graders. Although my middle school experience had some complications, from being evacuated on my first trip to being sent up for a day trip on the second time, must have been COVID, and finally for a full week as a 7th grader, the skills I learned and the community that I gained were life-changing, to say the least. I remember the layout of every cabin, the people I stayed with, and most importantly, the memories I made and the community I earned. That's one of those things she pulled out, right? Okay. Times have changed slightly since I was a middle schooler attending Outdoor Lab in 2018 and 2019. A more noticeable change has been the exponential increase in the online presence of young adults, or young adolescents. We live in a time where it is becoming increasingly normal for sixth graders and even younger to be deeply involved in technology, social media, and to be present across the internet. This exponential increase in online involvement has had severe effects on offline communication. So many kids now claim to know all of their classmates, but fail to recall a name or a conversation between them, even though they're friends on Snapchat or Instagram. The United States Surgeon General released a social media advisory in 2023 that explained how adolescents are at a very sensitive period in their brain development, and that social media can have direct effects on parts of the brain, including the amygdala, which helps to regulate emotions and behavior, and the prefrontal cortex, which aids in regulating impulse control and social behavior. This may lead specifically in young adolescents to experiencing, quote, heightened emotional sensitivity to the communicative and interactive nature of social media, and a decrease in effective in-person communication. One of the first steps to bringing confidence back into face-to-face communication with children is simply to get them away from their screens. The second is to remove the walls. Jefferson County Public Schools took their second step almost 70 years ago when they started Outdoor Lab. Getting children to literally take a step outside has been a never-ending positive impact on their growth and development, physically, academically, and emotionally. So hiking on a snowy trail could be you. Knowledge Hub explains how various studies have concluded that, quote, when comparing traditional classroom settings to outdoor lab or outdoor learning environments, researchers have documented enhanced cognitive function and information retention. But it goes beyond the academic benefits, as just being outdoors supports immune health, movement, communication, and community. Although it's a school program, the community is the heart of Outdoor Lab. From the moment the sixth graders step off the buses, as they arrive on campus, they circle the flagpole. Circles are a repetitive occurrence up on the mountain, and every staff member will be able to point them out, even if the kids don't immediately notice them. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner all occur with randomly paired kids and a few high school leaders sitting around one of their 10 circular dining tables in the dining hall. The opening ceremony at the beginning of the week is held around a fire, with every kid and high school leader sitting side by side, encircling all the way around the small fire in the center. In bunkhouse free time, games like Uno and Jenga are played, or goals and stories are told in these circles while sitting on the floor. On hikes and lessons, kids are circled up at stopping points to discuss key points of their ecosystems lessons or the campus site history. Closing ceremony. Similar to the start of the week at the flagpole, every morning starts with kids participating in raising the flags and lowering them every night as an opportunity to be part of the color guard, as the rest of their peers stand along the fence line facing in. At the same place they sat around the fire at the start of the week is where the closing ceremony takes place. The only difference is that there's a different feeling in the air. While the opening ceremony may have felt unsure and awkward, closing ceremony is filled with laughter, dancing, some happy tears, and everyone talking to one another because they're no longer strangers. And I'm just going to take a moment here. Now, at JRLP, we know that being online is fantastic, right? I mean, we get to do school in a really unique way here. However, we also know that it is important for every single human being to have opportunities to be social and to be in person. And so I know from watching every single group that has gone of sixth graders that have gone from JRLP starting in year one, those students have had a special bond that I've been able to witness, which has been amazing. Usually when students first get on the bus, they're all, oh, I don't know anybody and this is scary and who are these people, and they're very quiet. We've even had some tears. All right, I'm not going to lie. And tears kind of scare me. But anyway, once we get up on site though, it takes about, I don't know, maybe an hour or two before I see clusters of students kind of forming together, and they're talking to each other and they're smiling and they're laughing and they've made friends. And that is the most amazing part in my mind about Outdoor Lab. That is why I believe it's a transformative experience. Now, for you high schoolers, too, you might be wondering, what's in this for me? I mean, I have to be a mentor? It's amazing for you, too, because you also make friends with other high school students. I've seen those bonds happen as well. And you get to experience the outdoors and all of the things, and it's an amazing leadership and self-discovery experience for you. So I hope you all are thinking about it. Okay, so after the week on the mountain, kids are able to return to a familiar room, but are now more connected with the people around them. Friends are made, relationships with teachers are positive, and everyone is engaged. But the changes are noticeable even beyond the classroom that the sixth graders return to. And many spend the next few years reminiscing about their experiences during the previous week. Okay, how happy there. Awesome. Okay. My personal experience with Outdoor Lab is that unlike any other, but in a way, it is for everyone. Every person who has attended Outdoor Lab has their own unique stories and memories. And although there may be similarities in the lessons that were taken away from their time there, the differences are part of what makes the experience of Outdoor Lab so magical. Despite whatever may be occurring in a child's life previous to their week at Outdoor Lab, their time spent up on the mountain is generally the same. So I'm going to skip this part and get down towards the end here because I'm running out of time. Okay, when it's time to leave, echoes of "I don't want to leave" can be heard across the pavilion. I've heard it every time I've gone up as a high school leader, and I've felt it every time I attended in middle school. That positive change in kids' confidence, not only in themselves, but in their relationships to their community, is something that I have yet to witness or hear about anywhere else. Okay, so anyway, that is Bree's editorial essay that she wrote about her experience. Now, in a week or so, I will be reaching out to students and saying, hey, you want to be a high school leader? You interested? And I hope that you will say, yes, tell me more. Even if you're not 100% certain, I hope that you will attend the meetings that I will provide information about in Advise Slides coming up in a week or so. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Maybe have a discussion as time allows about what's a transformative experience you've had. Or if you've been to Outdoor Lab, what's something that you remember from your experience? Have a wonderful day, everybody.